One of the strictest Corona clap regulations went into effect yesterday in Italy, affecting nearly 20% of the country's workforce. In order to work in Italy, you have to provide proof of the juice, proof of recovery, or be frequently subjected to tests. The cost of these tests and how frequently you need to take them can pretty much decimate a majority of your income, kind of making it cost prohibitive to even choose that option. And as most people say, well, it only affects about 20% of Italy's workforce. Well, that's over 2 million people, including about 40% of dock workers. This also includes medical professionals, agriculture workers, and so many others. What people are failing to realize as they look 10 feet in front of them instead of a mile is that the manufactured crisis is upon us. What a lot of people are trying to say is that even if you agree with these specific measures and the specific reaction to this individual circumstance, what the rest of us are trying to say is that what about next time? Most people are failing to recognize the negative ramifications of 20% of your workforce being basically cut off at the knees and unable to provide for their family. By enabling the structure to have this much power in this particular circumstance, they're essentially saying that if there is any issue going forward in the future, if they can make the numbers look dangerous enough, figure out how to scare you enough, figure out how to convince enough people that this is the right thing, they can essentially do pretty much anything. If they can take away your ability to work, your ability to provide, that's all they need to do. That's a complete cutoff. They don't need to stop anything else. If they just took that one thing, they have complete power over you indefinitely. A wise man once said, "The greatest form of control is when you think you're free, but you're being fundamentally manipulated and dictated to." By having this level of power over the free citizens of the earth, no matter what country it's in, it essentially gives the structure unlimited power to do anything. Right now, it's this particular issue. It's this particular crisis. Now, what is the crisis of the future and how will they wield these powers going forward? As they hypnotize and normalize and lull all of the compliant individuals into submission, saying, well, I got it. I protected myself. Who cares about those other 20%? They're forgetting about the next time around when it comes back for them. By then it will be too late. Nothing like this has ever been done before. Ever. And as these things are digitized and tracked and an unlimited amount of data is aggregated across the entire planet, you're essentially subjecting yourself to complete and total control forever. And what people are failing to recognize is what's coming around the mountain. Don't you think by making 20% of the workforce of Italy unable to do their job or unable to do their job without incurring hundreds of euros per month in excess costs or fining them for not doing it, don't you think more problems are going to be created if 20% of people are unable to go to work? Think about the supply chain issues. Think about the medical issues. Think about all of the unnecessary and needless human suffering that will far outweigh the current suffering that's happening as a result of this problem. In this particular case, as is in many cases where the structure steps in, the solution is far worse than the problem, but people can't see it. It would be real cool if more people had a very basic understanding of history, had a very basic understanding that when power is taken, it can be manipulated. When power is absorbed, it can be used and wielded in unscrupulous ways. I find it so mind-boggling how so many people can unanimously agree that the systems across most of the world are super corrupt. They're like, yeah, they're corrupt. Yet in this particular instance, they're willing to give up everything to that exact same corrupt structure. In this particular case where they've hypnotized and lulled you into thinking that it's for your protection, you're just handing away every single thing you ever had because you're afraid. They've successfully manipulated your fear to such a high degree that you've just forgotten everything else that you already know to be true. As a wise man once said, the greatest hypnotist on planet Earth is an oblong box in the corner of your room. It is constantly telling us what to believe is real. First it's Italy, then it's other European countries, then it's the rest of the developed world. Now it's the juice or proof and tests, but sooner or later, it's no tests. Sooner or later, it's no proof. Sooner or later, it's everywhere. Sooner or later, you can't work. Sooner or later, you can't go where you want. Sooner or later, you can't move. You can't fly. You can't go on buses. You can't go on trains. Can people just please take a clearer look at the negative ramifications going forward and understand that by trying to make you suffer in the meantime, that's how they're trying to convince you to do this. If they take away people's ability to work, if they slowly take one piece at a time and create unnecessary human suffering, they will force people to do this. And once they do that, that's it. Can we please just understand what negative ramifications will come as a result of even just what's going on in Italy? Think about what people will do to themselves. Think about how they think. Think about mental health. Think about the supply chain shortages. Think about what happens in the medical facilities. Think about all those things. That's just one place. Now multiply that over the entire planet. Take this crisis. What about the next one? What about the next one? What about the next one? Unlimited power forever. If we don't see this and recognize it soon, that's it.